see how conditional selection is done in pandas data frame. So if I want, so I have a data frame. So if I want to get the elements whose value is greater than 0, then I can do it like this. So here it returns the boolean value. So all the elements who satisfy this condition will be set to true, and all those who don't satisfy this condition will be set to false. So let me keep this selection in a variable, save it in a variable, and similar to what we did in NumPy. So here if I do it like this, then it will print me the values where in the above boolean table the true values will be printed here and the false values will be set to none. So here this is not the like the most favorable practice to print the values. So the favorable way through which we can do it is I have selected a particular row here. So here you can see in the row W all those elements except the element present in the index C or the row C has been set to false, and all the conditions satisfied, so it has been set to true. So now I can print the data frame, print the numbers who satisfy this particular condition. This is for a particular row. So here you can see that since the I pass this condition, since the column since the row C doesn't match the condition in the Y row, since the value at the row C is less than 0 and all the other rows specify this condition, so except the row C it printed all the values, all the other rows. So now if I want to get specific columns from this condition, so let's say if I want let me just copy this. If I want column X, then I can just pass it like this. So it will return me only the column X. So since C didn't match this condition, but since I want the column X, it printed me the column X. So if I want multiple columns, then I can suppose let's say I want column Y. Sorry, to get multiple columns I need to keep it inside like this. So here you can see that I passed in this condition which stated that I want I want only the rows which are greater than 0 from the column W. So and from that condition I want column X, so I got this, and in here I want column both X and Y, so I got this value. So I think this was quite difficult for you to understand, so I'll explain it to you line by line. So let's say I create a variable boolean series. So here what I wanted was the values from column W whose values is greater than 0. So if I print this, if I run this, and if I keep this, the output which I get from this, I keep it in a variable bool series, and I pass in the particular variable in an argument, and I also specify the columns which I wanted. I wanted column X and column Y, and the result would be the columns which I wanted. So yeah, this is how the above one line statement work. So I suggest you guys to use the one line statement, as it will be easier for you. If you write more number of lines, then it will consume more memory, and it will also be error prone to more errors. So I recommend you to follow this method. So now let us see using like selecting using two from more than two or more than two conditions. So here I want all the values from column W whose values are greater than 0, and values from column Y whose values is greater than 0, let's say greater than 1. So if I print this statement, then I'll receive a error which says that the truth values of series is ambiguous. So Python cannot perform and operate among two series, so it cannot perform and or and these sort of operations in a series. So to get the output from this, what I need to use is the ampersand operator instead of and. So here you can see that since the row E, let's check the row E. Since row E specifies both the condition here, the value of column Y at row E is greater than 1, and the value of column W at row E is greater than 0. So since only this row specifies this condition, so I got row E as the output. Similarly, I can do it using OR operator. So for OR, I need to specify the pipe operator. So yeah, you see I got this table.